Today, I want to talk about something that's both simple, but very powerful and effective in the world of business. And that is economies of scale. Now, it might sound like something you'd learn at school, something at university or college here, but even though it might feel very textbooky, it's a very practical and powerful concept to get your head around and very useful in the world of business. It has both positive and negative consequences. I'm going to provide examples drawn from the world of arts and from the world of business. And I promise you, it's something that every business owner or creative professional should be aware about and actually apply and understand for their own business. Whether you're running a local cafe, an art gallery, a theatre, an online shop, a production company, whatever it is, economies of scale is relevant for you. Not only am I going to draw some examples, but how it matters and why it's important here, but it's also very powerful when you look at your future, look through the windscreen of your business about being more efficient, productive, and profitable. Let's dive in. Now, firstly, when you hear that phrase, economies of scale, what does it actually mean? What does it actually refer to? Well, economies of scale is just a fancy way of saying that as a business grows, as it provides more of its products and services, it can produce those goods or services at a lower cost per unit. The more you do, the bigger you get, the cheaper it is in terms of unit costs to deliver each of those individual things. Now, you might be thinking, why is that so? Well, it's because your costs, specifically those fixed ones, get spread over a larger number of products or services. Economies of scale can help businesses become more efficient and more profitable. Let me illustrate with a couple of examples. Imagine I have a room full of 5 people and I have £20 to share. If I share that amongst those 5 people, each person gets the magnificent sum of £4. Those people represent the number of items you produce, and that £20 represents your fixed costs. Now, if you double the number, each person gets a smaller share. The equivalent would be the more you produce, the more services you provide, then the lower the unit cost. Perversely, if the numbers drop, you get a higher cost per item as well. Now, it's also the same if you make things. The more you make things, the more you want to get in terms of discounts. Your salary costs that are there become the same, they don't change, they don't fluctuate dramatically, and you're spreading those costs over a wider base. More efficiency, more of those spreading of those salary costs, which tend to be stable, static. The rent doesn't tend to be fluctuated and affected by what you're selling, and you're spreading those costs over a wider base. Now, perversely, folks, by the way, if you sell less of what you're doing, you produce less, then the unit cost does drop. So, a little note of caution. Now, why is it so important? Well, economies of scale can be the difference between a business which is just surviving and a business that is thriving. When a business can reduce the unit costs, it can either make more profit or it may decide to factor that in by reducing the prices it has. The more that we can do with the same given level of resources, then the better it's going to be for us and potentially our customers. There are a few caveats which I'll mention towards the end. A lower price point could mean that we get more customers, could mean we generate higher levels of sales. Now, with that higher growth, we have more funds available to reinvest back into the business. But it's not just about making things cheaper. It's about using those resources more efficiently as well. By growing our businesses, we can afford that better technology, invest in more specialised staff, reward our existing staff much better, invest in better quality materials, all of which lead to a better product or service. Now, if you're a small business, understanding the economies of scale can help plan for future growth. It can also help you guide decisions like, when do you invest in more staff? When should you upgrade equipment? When should you reinvest or expand the existing premise base that you work from? At the heart of this, by the way, folks, is the necessity to make sure you've got a good financial route map or financial plan. Please check out the show notes, by the way, for Budget Whiz, which is our online tool, which can help you with that. Now, let's throw in a few examples. Now, if you're in the world of arts, let's say you are a theatre, well, what will happen is you will have a fixed space where those performances are carried out. You will have existing costs, such as salaries, you may have depreciation, You will have other related things like perhaps electricity bills. All those are relatively fixed. Now, the more you can fill in that theatre space, the more you can deliver, the more you can squeeze that asset, then the better it's going to be from an efficiency point of view and from a profitability point of view. If you happen to be an artist that sells prints, if you have more customers, then the cost of some of the printing, the resources that you expense, will be lower in that respect. And therefore, lower costs means even if you charge the same prices, you'll get to keep more of that money. Obviously, that's predicated by the fact that you are able to sell what you produce. Remember, the options available to us is making more profit or actually looking at our pricing policies about how we decide what to charge our clients. Now, if we dip our toes into the world of the small business, and obviously this applies to larger businesses, by the way, as well, well, economies of scale are as relevant for sole traders as they are for companies and large corporations. Take the example of a local cafe, something we can probably mostly relate to. Now, in the beginning, a cafe may purchase small quantities of ingredients like coffee beans, milk and pastries. Understandably, it wants to manage its cash flow. As the cafe has more customers, as it grows and more customers come in to buy its products, then the owner is likely to be negotiating with suppliers to buy in larger quantities, to buy bulk. Those bulk purchases would result in lower unit prices, and the cafe can then use those savings to lower their prices, make it more competitive, or to reinvest those funds. That is why larger organisations like franchise businesses like McDonald's, other franchises are available, have that buying power to negotiate much better purchases and actually enjoy much higher margins than their smaller contemporaries. Now, there are challenges with economies of scale, so please don't think of this as one-way traffic. If you grow too quickly or you scale up before your business is ready, then you will have potential quality control issues. You may not have the infrastructure that's developed there to cope with that increasing demand. Customer service may suffer, there'll be a financial strain, and therefore you may run out of cash very quickly while you're in that growth phase. So it's important to plan for that growth. I will be dealing with that sort of growth spurts in a future episode, but be aware, as with every other side, there's also going to be a downside as well. You need to maintain that quality. You need to maintain what made you successful in the first place as you upscale. Now, to sum up, economies of scale is a crucial concept for any business, large or small, creative or corporate. The more you do, the more you provide, the more efficient you become, unit costs will diminish. You can improve the efficiency. You create opportunities for more growth. More profit equals more reward. More profit equals more money coming back into the business to use as you see fit. Now, folks, I appreciate your time for watching this video, and I hope you've taken some value from it. If you feel there are other people who could benefit from looking at this video, then please do share accordingly and comment where you think is appropriate. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if there's anything that's coming out from this video, then please do check the show notes for links to Numbers Know How, I Hate Numbers, for the resources that we have, and our wonderful business community, which we'd love you to join. Until next time, keep growing smartly.